Guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. My name is Nastasia, and today I am doing kind of another one of those singleness pep talk, encouragement kind of videos. I really felt like this was on my heart this week, just mostly based on some comments I've gotten, DMs I've gotten, just on different social media platforms. I'm going to kind of go over it in a little bit, but I feel like it was definitely put on my heart to talk about this again because I know how it feels to go through a time of singleness, maybe a really long time of singleness, and really want marriage and really just want to love on somebody in a biblical way and feeling a little hopeless and lonely. So I'm going to get into that, and I also wanted to say that today's video is sponsored by Perfect Supplements. I love them. I talked about them in my last video. I'm going to be talking about them a little bit later on, specifically the beef liver supplements. I kind of talk about a different one in each video, but I absolutely love them, and I will be talking about them a little bit. Before I get into it, if you end up liking this video, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you never miss out on a video every time I post. My Instagram is right here so you can see the behind the scenes of my life. And let's get into it. So I have been getting a lot of different like DMs or comments on here or on my Instagram posts or something like that. And this is from a lot of different people. This is not just from one person. Sorry, I feel like my hair does not look good right now, so I'm like weird about it. But I feel like this is from a lot of different people. So if you feel like I'm pointing you out, I promise I am not. This is just something that I noticed. Hey, a lot of people seem to be feeling this way, and it is just this feeling of loneliness, being single. And this common theme I have seen is people reaching out to me, asking me to pray that God would give them their husband soon, or would give them somebody to date soon, or a boyfriend or something, because they're just kind of tired of waiting and they don't know if anybody's out there for them, and they're trying not to settle, but it's getting to the point where they're so lonely. And first of all, I want you to know that I have been there, and my heart goes out to you. I really truly mean that. I mean, I still remember so easily all the times that I felt empty, just because I really did feel like I was meant to be married at one point in my, like at some point, like I really wanted to be married, and I felt like I was going to be married, and I was just so sick of dating all these guys that didn't have my, they're the best intentions for me, or they just weren't the right one for me, or something like that. I was just so sick of it. I just wanted to be with my husband. I didn't want to be, dating these people I wasn't supposed to be with. And also I didn't want to be alone anymore. Like I really, really wanted to be a wife. So I want you to know that I completely understand where you're coming from. I actually was reading the other day in my prayer journal from, oh gosh, this was 2 years ago now, over 2 years ago, that it was in June. It was June 18th in 2019, and I had found a prayer that I had written down to God all about my future husband. And I was just saying, like, I'm feeling very lonely. I'm feeling very hopeless, wondering if he's even out there, wondering if you have anybody for me. And I know that I shouldn't even be worried about it, but I am, and I just, help me to trust you, and please just help me, give me hope and peace no matter what your will is. By the way, yes, I am married. I just don't have my ring on right now. I just got in the shower. But I was just really, really lonely. And then I realized, looking at the date, exactly 2 months later to the day, on August 18th, 2019, was when my husband and I went on our first date, the first time we ever met each other. And I was just crying out of joy, because I was like, wow, God, you knew exactly what the timing was gonna be. And you were so patient with me and so loving towards me during that time, and he did so much refining of me even in those few months. And I found out later on that he did refining of my husband now during those months too, that his timing was just literally perfect. If we would have met any sooner, or started dating any sooner, it wouldn't have worked, just based on where we were. And so I mostly just wanted to tell you guys that I feel for you, and I've been there, but also I want to encourage you in the truth of what the Lord says about you, and that I want to put this the right way, because there is never a time where you can't pray to God about something. He wants us to come to him with our prayers. He wants us to talk to him. Because of Jesus, we have that access to the Father, which is amazing, to talk to him anytime we want, and I encourage you to do that. But I also want to encourage you to maybe start switching your prayers a little bit and asking, instead of asking the Lord to bring you your husband right now and all that stuff, ask him for peace, that he would give you his peace about his timing and his will, and that he would help you to find contentment and hope in him alone. Now, that doesn't mean praying for your husband is a bad thing. I actually encourage you to pray for your future husband, or, you know, if you're engaged, you're more closer to your future husband. But I noticed that there were so many times that I was so focused on, God, why haven't you brought him to me yet, that I wasted so much time that I could have just been content with the Lord, that I always had access to. And I have said this in previous videos before, but I cannot stress it enough. There was something that I heard somebody say once. She was talking to women, and she was saying that she was single at the time as well. I don't know if she still is or not. This was a couple years ago. She was saying that it can be a struggle for her too, but she realized that she was making God like a plan B. Like, she was making Jesus a plan B in her life. Like, well, if I don't get married, at least I still have Jesus. When it should be the opposite. It should be, I have Jesus. He is enough. If I also have a husband, great. If I don't have a husband, I'm called to singleness, also great. There are so many people in the Bible that are called to singleness and do amazing things. Like, God uses them for amazing things in the kingdom. And not only that, but they are filled with joy in their life. Not just like, I'm okay, but like literally joy. So I don't want you to think that having a husband is the only way to happiness, because it is just not true. It's such a lie. It doesn't take away any insecurities you might have. It doesn't take away any fears you might have. It just, you know, Satan just uses new insecurities and new fears at you. So I feel like it's just important for you to know that having a husband is an incredible thing. I absolutely love being married, but it's not like my relationship with the Lord started when I got married. I had a relationship with the Lord since the day he chose me as a child, which is incredible. Like, that relationship I have with Jesus, it far exceeds any relationship I could have with anybody, including my husband. And my husband agrees. He wants me to put Jesus first, and I want him to put Jesus first, because that's the best way we can love each other. And it breaks my heart, because I was there too. I was in that place of almost like a feeling of desperation, of like, God, I don't know how much longer I can wait for you to give me my husband. I feel like my clock is running out. I feel like this, I feel like that. I feel like, how am I even supposed to meet somebody? Like, if I don't take it in my own hands, nothing's gonna happen. And it's all lies from the enemy. It is all lies. And I just want to speak that over you, because it's true. I'm not saying you should just stay in your house and never leave your house and just expect the Lord to just drop a man in your family room or something like that. I mean, he can, don't get me wrong. He can do anything. But I'm just saying, like, live your life for the Lord. No matter where you're at right now, whether you're dating, whether you're single, whether you're engaged, whether you've just been dumped. I was in that place a lot. And whether you're heartbroken right now, don't see this as a defeat or 2 steps back or anything like that. Like, God's timing is so perfect, and I cannot stress this enough. There is nothing you can do to speed up God's timing, and there's nothing you can do to slow it down. something I would obsess over lots when I was single and out of college. So that age where it's like, how am I going to meet anybody? You know, most people meet in high school or college or something. There was that point of like, how am I going to meet my husband? And I started obsessing over like, okay, well, yeah, I gotta bring him to me, but let me make sure I'm at, you know, coffee shops all the time, or like this or that, or like make myself like pretty available looking so that, you know, if God has that person for me, they don't miss their shot with me. And I just look back and just laugh because the way I met my husband was through YouTube, literally not leaving my house. Like I literally was posting videos and he was looking for some inspirational, like encouraging Christians online that felt the same way he did and was just really devoted to the Lord. He found my video, he reached out to me. I was not interested at first, so then he wasn't interested. So we totally didn't have a shot, and then it was the Lord who brought us together. And I just think it's hilarious that I was like, oh man, but what coffee shop do I need to be in to meet my husband so I don't mess this up? And it's like, there's nothing you can do to mess it up. If it was up to us to take charge of our lives and our, you know, the Lord's will for us, I should say that. If it was up to us to take charge of the Lord's will, it wouldn't be the Lord's will, it would be ours. And not to mention, if it was up to us, we would mess it up every single time. That is why we're not in charge of it, because God is too good to put us in charge of his will. He is so good like that. If you are meant to be married, you will be married. If you are meant to, and I want to add on there too, stop lowering your standards. Or maybe you have high standards, but you're like, well, the time is running out, I'm going to start lowering them soon. That is not what the Bible calls us to do. It never calls for you to go to someone who is unequally yoked, ever, ever, ever. Not, oh, well, when you turn 25 or 30 or 35 or 40, then you can start looking for people who don't quite hit that standard. No, that is never the case. And not only that, I want to tell you this, I have known so many people who they get married in their 30s or their 40s or their 50s or up, and that is when they meet their husband, and they literally say, I am so glad I didn't meet them sooner. I am so glad God's timing is perfect. And it is. And I know you can't picture that for your life right now, and you're thinking, yeah, but it would be better if it was right now. Probably not. If it's not happening right now, it's for a reason. I know that if I had met Kai any sooner, I wouldn't have been mature enough, and he wouldn't have been mature enough to make it work. And I just, more than anything else, I want to put this on your heart. God's love for you is not based off of your relationship status, and your relationship with God is not based off of your relationship status with a man. It is just not the case. You know, marriage is a good gift that the Lord gives us as a representation of Jesus in the marriage between him and the bride of Christ, which is the church. So that's amazing. It is not necessary for salvation. I feel like a lot of people treat it as if it is, or they're like, no, I know it's not, but I want it so bad. I would also challenge you to ask yourself, are you making that an idol in your life? Because I think there were certain times that I was, you know, that I based God's goodness off of if I got married or not. It was only, I kid you not, it was only when I 100% gave it to the Lord and was like, you know what, if I'm single the rest of my life, I am truly okay with that. And I really was truly okay with that. I was thriving. I was really happy. And it's not because it was like, man, I'm so independent, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't any of that the world will tell you. It was because I was like, you know what? The Lord is so enough. He is so enough for me. And I do not have to rely on another person loving me or wanting to marry me to tell me that the Lord loves me and wants me to be with him forever. That is the most important thing. And so while I do think a lot of people are trying to rush it and all this stuff and just chill out, God has his timing for you, at the same time, that doesn't even really matter. what really matters is that above everything else, God is your number one over everything during every season of your life, whether you are lonely or not. Because here's the thing, and this is why I said the fear that doesn't go away. Satan just uses different fears. My fear used to be that I would be alone forever. Now my fear is that something will happen to Kai and I will be alone forever. It doesn't matter what happens in your life. If you have those fears that you don't surrender to the Lord and that you don't fight the enemy with scripture, the fears will still be there. They might change a couple words, but they'll still be there. Your insecurities will still be there. Like, I'm still insecure about my body. I used to think, oh, well, once a guy loves me and marries me, I'll never be insecure again. Kai loves me. He tells me I'm beautiful multiple times a day. Like, but at the same time, it doesn't matter because it's my flesh and it's the enemy telling me these things. And so I want to encourage you to focus on God over everything. Focus on Jesus over everything, and it will all work out, whatever that is. And I want to tell you too, if you are following Jesus Christ and you are called to singleness, then that is the best thing for you. Because our Father loves us as children, and He would never give you something that wasn't His best, His protection, for the goodness of you and the glory of Him. So you can rest in that. He is not skipping out on you. He is not holding back on you. He is not, threatening you. He's not 3 strikes and you're out, and then I take away your husband. That's a big fear of mine too, like that if I mess up, God's going to do something to me. That is a lie from the enemy. You are safe as a child of God with your Father. And so I'm trying. I hope that these words help relieve some of that weight that's on your shoulders, because it doesn't need to be there. And I know it's hard. I really, really do. I have prayers where I see the tears stained on the pages because I had been dumped once, twice, 3rd time, 4th time, 5th time, like all this stuff. Or, I just was so sick of being lonely. Or, God, do you actually have somebody for me? I feel so stupid. I feel like He's not out there. I feel like this and this and this. And of course, the Lord, His timing was perfect. But at the same time, I truly believe if His plan for my life was to be single, then it would have been the best plan for me. For some reason, this is the best plan for me, and I am grateful. I love my husband. If you are single right now, then right now is the time you are supposed to be single. Stop trying to get out of it. You're not going to be able to rush it, and you're not going to be able to slow it down. Just embrace it and give it to God. So really quick before we go, I wanted to talk about these supplements. Please don't click off. These supplements have changed my life. But Perfect Supplements is the company sponsoring today's video. I reached out to them because I love their stuff so much. So truly, this is the most honest review ever. Their stuff is amazing. It is all grass-fed, grass-finished, all this stuff. And the one I want to talk about specifically today is the pasture-raised desiccated beef liver from grass-fed cattle. So these come in like capsule form. They also have it in a powder. I'm just not brave enough to take it in a powder. But it is lab-tested, paleo, hormone-free, non-GMO, residue-free, and gluten-free. And I wanted to tell you some things about beef liver that are insanely beneficial to your body. I wrote them down because I did that much research. So again, this is my own research. So beef liver actually contains a trace essential mineral called molybdenum, I think is how you pronounce it, which is typically found in high amounts of organ meat, especially liver. And this mineral is responsible for breaking down a toxin that is actually like a waste product of candida yeast buildup. So a lot of people struggle with yeast buildup and stuff like that, or candida, and there's trace mineral in this that you cannot find in a lot of places or a lot of things to eat that helps with that. and it helps your body actually break that down and carry out that toxin. It also helps eliminate sulfites that are found in preservatives containing sulfur. So it helps turn these sulfites into sulfates, which allows the body to carry them out instead of accumulating them into a toxic buildup. Beef liver also is an excellent source of natural vitamin A, vitamin B, and bioavailable copper, which is essential to our bodies. Vitamin B detoxes excess estrogen, which is vitally important for women, especially. Not to mention it's essential for converting cholesterol into like libido hormones that help with, you know, reproductive health and all that. And like progesterone, which is super helpful if you're trying to conceive or keep a baby happy and healthy if you're pregnant, and it's very helpful in healing your metabolism as well. So those are just a couple things. So if you're strong enough to just take beef liver on its own, go for it. But also it's hard to find a grass-fed, grass-finished, pasture-raised, organic, all that beef liver, which does make a difference, hormone-free too. So I will have this down below. They have a bunch of other stuff though too. They have this awesome like whole vitamin C fruit powder that I talked about in the last video, but they have a ton of stuff on their website, and you can use this code to get a discount, and I absolutely love their stuff. I'm so serious. I take it every single day. I love their stuff a lot, and I'm almost positive it has helped me a lot with my detox symptoms as well, getting off my antidepressants. I'm not claiming that as a medical fact. I'm just saying I've noticed that I think it helps. So anyway, check them out. Also, thank you for watching today's video. Please feel free to comment down below, and I will see you soon. I love you so, so much. Bye, guys.